This is Slave 1. It's a upper body, human range of motion and human speed robot. It's not capable of lifting things. It's mainly a gestural performance robot. What's unique about it is that all of the mechanical and electronic components are off the figure. There are 21 different motors. These are called servos, radio control car servos. And each one controls one of the movements up on the structure. Each of these is controlled by a microcontroller that's ultimately controlled by a computer. The movement of each one of these servos is transmitted up through a stainless steel cable up through the middle of the robot out to the joint that it's finally controlling. So the key technologically to this type of robot I call a revector block. It's the red parts, and there are several in here. And they take a bundle of cables coming from one direction and then distribute it out into the directions that they need to go. So for example, the one that's underneath here is taking this cone of cables coming from the motors and then grouping them into a really tight bundle that goes up through the middle of the torso. And also the cables have to go through the hinge joints of the shoulder and elbow. So that's another custom-made system to carry the cables without varying the path length as they flex. It's an arrangement of Teflon tubes and stiffener cables embedded in a silicone rubber block. That's the white parts. So the hands on Slave 0 and Slave 1 were the most complicated part. The original prototype for the fingers was worked out using Lego Technics and some monofilament thread. And this is a prototype of the finger which has joint sharing between the three segments. And then 4 of those are attached to each of the palms on the 2 robots. Gets a good range of gesture with only 2 motors. Everything is custom made except for the motors. So all the metal is machined on a milling machine. All the red parts are custom castings that required special custom molds. It can be driven completely manually from an input device, or it can oscillate different joints at different frequencies, which it's doing right now. And it can also run recorded movement routines.